Do you feel like you have a chip on your shoulder or something to prove in the 100K distance because you haven't had the race you wanted yet in a PTO Tour race outside of the Collins Cup?
I think you should focus on yourself predominantly. Don't get me wrong, when the gun goes, you're racing the guys on the start line, but day to day, you need to focus on yourself. You need to keep training. You have to overreach probably a little bit. You have to provide stress that if all you ever do is stuff that your body can do no problem, then you're probably not going to get any better. Probably not going to like get faster or stronger or whatever. You do have to overreach a bit. You know, if you can do 5 push-ups easily, and then you just do 5 push-ups every day, like you're never going to be able to increase your max reps of push-ups. And I think the same is true in endurance training. You do have to push your limit, you know, in certain sessions. And so that's that. How much volume you can handle, how much intensity you can handle, how frequently you can handle intensity, those truly have nothing to do with anyone else. Nothing. So if you're concerning yourself with other people, you're not doing it properly. And when the gun goes, then you can look, you know, just 5 seconds before the gun goes, you look left and right. And hopefully, if you've listened to your body for the last 5 months and got yourself into peak form and painted the most beautiful picture you could paint of your physiology, when you look left, you look right, you should think, there's only one thing separating me from the victory, and that's a flat tire. That should be your mindset, if you've done it properly. And I used to go into races, and truly, I would look left, look right, I'm going to win. I will win, 100%. Flat tire is the only thing, and maybe even if I get a flat tire, I'll probably still win. I've had that perspective in my life. I've been on start lines where I felt that way. I can tell you that the top guys in the world right now feel that way when they're on the start line, and they feel that way because they trained such that they got their system, they painted a beautiful physiological picture that they believe deeply inside is better than all these other physiological pictures. So that's the secret. There's nothing more. You can do that. How you achieve that, that's up to you. You can use a lactate meter, go ahead. You can use a heart rate monitor, go ahead. You can just use perceived exertion, go ahead. I mean, it doesn't matter. You'll know if you're doing it because you will have continual progression. The training should crescendo a week before your A race, and your, you know, internal perception of power and speed should crescendo the morning of the race.
You were to run through the full day of workouts, what all would it consist of?
Today,
Yeah.
the tempo bike was 9 times 10 minutes. First 3 just getting into it, top of the aerobic zone. Then 6 at a strong tempo stimulus. 15% recovery on the interval, so 1.5 minutes. That took 2 hours. I'll progress that workout such that going into my peak race, I will be doing about 90 minutes at the tempo effort. I'm at 60 right now. That'll be the progression, and then still some aerobic, so it'll end up being about 3 hours. Now we're going to go to the pool, do some tempo stuff. I'm using the heart rate a lot in swimming, particularly for sub-threshold or even threshold efforts, but sub-anaerobic efforts. And so today is 10 200s. Not really pushing the paces right now. More would like to get the speeds up. And so we'll do that on about 25 seconds rest, which will end up being probably about 18% recovery interval. I will use heart rate more than anything on that to get kind of in the zone. Swimming is the hardest by far, I'd say, to, like, you can't really use your breathing, in my opinion, as a developing swimmer. You can't really use your perception because you just don't really know, like, what's going on as a developing swimmer. Even a good swimmer, I still think good swimmers probably don't have a great... Swimming is just a tough one to... Probably because the only time we're practicing swimming is when we're swimming, you know, as opposed to when I'm running or when I'm walking or just living, I'm kind of practicing the forces of gravity as it is in running. So I'll use heart rate. I'll allow the heart rate to be, so I allowed it on the bike to be 125 to 130. In the run, I allow it to be 130 to 135. In the swim, I think it's the, at least as a developing swimmer, the least taxing, and so I will allow 120 to 125 will be kind of the goal or intended output on the 200s. Then we'll finish with some neuromuscular power, just some 25s. This time we'll lighten the interval, we'll do them on 40. Then last time a more tighter interval. This time just constantly trying to provide new stimulus for the body. And then, so there's about 70 minutes rest in between each of these. So then we'll have about 70 minutes rest after the swim, and then onto the bike or the run workout. It'll be about 5K warm up, and then 2x5K once again, going mainly off heart rate, 130 to 135, which I believe will get me somewhere in the ballpark of 17 minutes for the 2 5Ks. We'll do them on about 3 minutes rest. I'm training with guys, really good runners, so you know, there is an element also that I have to up my game a bit on the run, and so, you know, I'll be a little bit allowing of the heart rate to go a bit higher if that means I'm still with the group. I think though my heart rate will be right within the zone, and then once again, just like on the bike, I will take a lactate reading at the end of all of these sessions, and hopefully the lactate is 1.7 to 2.2, and that's kind of where I am intending to train for this day.
Tell us what you got on here.
What do you mean?
Who's been harassing you about pants?
Well, it's not that anybody's been harassing me. It's that I mean, the few run workouts we've done, it's been 40 degrees. These guys are wearing tights. I don't even own a pair of tights, but now I do, baby. Now I do.
All right, Trevor, what's the workout?
Workout is 2x5K.
Yeah.
Tempo, 530 to 520.
Yeah.
With Lionel, Ben, Lucas, and Dylan on the bike. I'm really contemplating if I can do this or not. I'm trying to get some quick carbs because I'm severely bonked after this warm-up.
I've seen a lot of athletes resort to Gatorade Endurance, Morton. I've even seen an athlete use maple syrup at one time. I've never seen Cheerios though.
Yeah, it's because one cup is 30 carbs, and this is about $3. So this has got to be like 10 cents for 30 carbs. You're not buying that anywhere else.
That guy's full of shit, by the way.
Wait, I got...
He talks about being bonked, and then I do my highest power 3K interval, trying to keep up fully on the ropes the whole time. So he's full of shit. Don't believe a thing he has to say.
I can't even...
You know what? The tempo is just a nice middling effort. It's not, there's no like threshold or something we're trying to hit. Like I told you, lactate value 1.7 to 2.2. Heart rate 130 to 135. Pace, whatever coincides with that. It's mainly off of perception, I would say, these reps. It's just a nice middling effort, that's all.
You don't believe in science?
No, I don't believe in science. Zones, any heart rate, power, none of it. Doesn't exist. This is hard work.
20 seconds. All right.
At the line,
Let's
right?
not do the first K in 3:05. All right?
Yeah.
I'll lead the first K.
Yeah, I'm following you guys.
What are we at? 10?
I'm not leading it.
Good enough. Also good enough. These guys like to pick up the pace at the end, which confounds my lactate reading at the end. You know what I mean?
Is Trevor finished yet, or is he still dropped? Is he still back there?
Oh yeah, Trevor's
Yeah.
I need a light. Quick,
I don't smoke anymore.
quick. Hurry, I'm also gonna shit my pants. Good job. Sorry. Trevor made the executive decision to turn around.
You said we're turning around before the trash came.
Well,
I wish I would have known.
2.0. Perfect. Perfect. Even with the
Even with some insecurity.
even with the insecurity happening, it was still in line.
Wow! Look at this. Is this why you bought the car, so you can work out at night, or what?
That's right, buddy. Get all the bells and whistles.
Well, how was the workout?
Here we go. Let me get that one on too. It was good. It was perfect. This is not a this is a middling effort. It's not something that you should be pushing. You know what I mean? Very hard. It's just right in the middle of the intensity distribution. That's all. The sweet spot, as they say. And we were right there, confirmed with heart rate and lactate. Even with the, I'd say I would have probably been 1.8, just like on the bike, had we not closed the final kilometer in 3:10. But heart rate average on the first one 130, and on the second one 132. Time 17:06 on the first one, 16:40 on the second one. Power, as I thought, somewhere in the 370 watt range. So perfect, and just a good solid sweet spot, middle of the intensity distribution spectrum workout. And back in the day, I never would do sessions at this pace. But definitely one of the things I learned last year is there certainly is value. I certainly got a bump from doing this stuff. We did a lot of it. I got a nice bump from it. Anytime you do something you haven't been doing, you get a bump from it. But doing nothing but this is a big problem too. So it's good. And now we got 1 day recovery and then back on the bike for some true threshold. And then Saturday we got a really big 5 to 6 times 2K at the top of the threshold. So looking for 3.5 to 4 millimole. Good run, yeah. Good. Well, I did until the final kilometer when the pace went to 3:10.